All right, welcome back to Market Report. I am Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us here today on, it's the 2nd of July. It's actually a Tuesday, but you know me, I look at it more like a synthetic Thursday if you've got Thursday off, right? So tomorrow would be a synthetic Friday. But we shall see. And a lot of us have, Friday off, but we don't here. So we'll be in bright and early. But this will be a decent week, and it's going to be interesting to see how things line up for us in the markets, because there will be some jockeying for sure, because a lot of folks are going to be off. All right, let's take a look at corn. I'll stop talking. 4.25 cents better in July, but that's the front month. That's not really the front month. 402.5 last there. Let's go right to the D. Sets up 3.75 cents to 424.25. It was a 425 the last time we checked, so we've just kind of backed off a little bit. This is where we were kind of overnight, right? This is 3 to 4.5 cents better across the board. That's corn. Soybeans. Let's go right to the August is up 11.5 cents to 11.57.5. Moving out to the Nova new crop, 11.23 last there. That's up 12.25 cents. That's soybeans. Let's go to the wheat in Chicago. The Chicago wheat, that's down 6 cents in SEP to 5.84.25. Moving out to March, that's down 5.25 cents to 6.25.5. So we're off between 5.25 and 6.25 cents across the board when we talk about Chicago wheat. Let's go to the Kansas City wheat. That's the hard red. That's down between 6.25 and 7.5 cents. We've got a SEP board down 7.5 to 5.92. That's about 1 penny and a half off the lows there. So trading heavy. March is off 7.25 cents to 6.20 3/4. And spring wheat, Minneapolis. Let's go there. What's happening? Not a lot. We're just off a couple of cents in SEP. 6.30 is last there. And we've got a March board that's sharply unchanged at 6.65 and a half, right? Small ranges there as well, about 7 and 8 cents across the board. Let's go to the cotton, and we'll get to our guest analyst. Let's go right to the D. That's down 52 points to 72.58, and we're off we're off about 52 points across the board there. That's cotton. Not a lot happening there. All right, let's bring in our guest. It's Mr. Chris Swift from Swift Trading. Good to see you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's. I got to drive up to. I put about 1,400 miles in the car this last week.
Okay.
4 days. Everything looks fantastic between here and northern Illinois. Yeah. Maybe a little stunted, maybe a little shorter than it would be at this time of year. But and we got a lot of rain on Friday, and it was sunny and 75 the other days it didn't rain. That sounds like the Garden of Eden, if you ask me.
Well, I tell you what, we have really seen is a subtropical type atmosphere out there, and corn flourishes in that. So I look at probably with now the amount of acres going in behind wheat now, the amount of bean acres going in behind wheat, and all of that looks really good. I think we're in for months of still this bear market, because we still don't see our producers out there marketing very heavily. Most of that was futures action that we saw on Friday with the grain report. So, now that awareness makes farmers now want to start thinking about marketing, and yet they still haven't done it. So I think we got a lot of stocks on hand to have to move, and our demand's going to be good, but it needs to be over good.
Well, I mean, it better get better at these prices, right? I mean, if we can't sell corn at $4, where can we sell it? I mean,
and it's I looked at the long-term charts, and the last time we went up and came back down, we're 5 years between $3 and $4. So we just crossed the $4 threshold. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see $3 again.
And then, the folks that I spoke to, I did get out and about with a bunch of farmers when I was there this weekend. That word insurance came up a lot.
Right.
So, I mean, is that going to be something? I mean, are we going to slow down the volumes in the futures market because these guys are just going to say, hey, it either rallies or I'm going to insurance? What do you think?
Well, and they probably will, because if they haven't done anything yet, they don't have a choice. Right. Really and truly they don't. If they had done things, I heard multiple analysts over the last months say, boy, you could do this, you could do that, and all of those things are for naught if you didn't do anything. So I think we're kind of down here stuck right now, probably going to do some wallowing, as we sit down here and just kind of let some time go by. And every time that I see where we had low spots, it might have been a little wet, they've all caught up now. Yeah. So you can't even really tell the low spots in the fields anymore.
Well, those of us that go to church, Mr. Swift, we call that purgatory. We're in that purgatory, right? All right, stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Chris Swift, Swift Trading, right after this. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about some, we'll go to the livestock, right? The meats, proteins, whatever you want to call it. I've got live cattle pulled up to show us that we're up just a little bit, getting back some of yesterday's losses. We got an August board up 57 cents to 184.85. Deese is up 80 cents to 186.35, right? So that's live cattle anywhere between 30 to a buck higher across the board right now. Let's take a look at the feeders. That was live cattle. This is the feeder cattle. We're up about $1.70 across the board. We'll start with August. That's up $1.77. 259.15, 17 cents off the high of the day there. Nova's up $1.67 at 259.62, just to give you a little idea about how those deferreds are acting out there. And then finally, let's go to the lean hogs, and we'll get back to our esteemed guest analyst. August is up 37 cents. Look at that. 88.55 is last there, but as you go out the deferreds, we lose a little bit of real estate. We lost 47 cents in the D's to 68.17, but it doesn't look like there's a lot going on there, if you ask me, Mr. Swift. Any ideas about what you think's been going on over in that livestock sector?
Well, we talk a lot about the elasticity, small changes in supply and demand.
That's a big word.
And I'm glad I got it out in one time. Between supply and demand, small changes in supply and demand makes large price swings, and that's what we're seeing right now, because we have probably some of the smallest changes in supply that we've seen in the beef market in a long time. 0.8%, year over year, we're down on there, yet we're still sitting up at the tip top. We're about 11.5% higher on our boxes over the last 3 months. We topped 329 yesterday in the boxes. So we're continuing to ration beef to the consumer. We're continuing to ration the amount of cattle that we have. We're continuing with the dairy cross beef mix there, and we're continuing to import scads of lean trimmings because we have so much extra fat. And when we were talking about corn earlier and thinking about cheap corn, all I can ever remember is an old broker of mine when I very first started out, son, cheap corn makes cheap cattle. And so I've heard that all my life, and unfortunately that may be the way we go. We're over the 4th of July holiday buying now. Most of those box prices were in lieu of that. We get through with that, and I have a feeling we're going to back off pretty hard, and the futures market is already reflecting that. $10 discount in the August to the June, and all of the feeder cattle markets discount are right at an even basis. And we saw the first time a large drop in the feeder cattle index, down $3 yesterday. So the cattle feeder is out there probably thinking more with his pocketbook is now with some of the dynamics of the economy changing. And oil was 25 cents from a new contract close this morning. Mm-hmm. So we're right back up there with gasoline prices, and we've had a bout of inflation that has really been directly to the consumer, those things that commodity-wise are consumed with very little processing.
Right. I mean, it's we're keeping it all together right now with duct tape and Band-Aids, if you ask me.
And I'll tell you what, it is really interesting to see it. That's end of quote for me.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Swift. He's with Swift Trading. Thanks for coming in today.
Absolutely.
Chris, always great to see you. And that's it from us there, Tammy. So I don't know how you're going to follow that up, but you got to do it.
I'm not, other than my daddy would also use a little bit of duct tape and WD-40.
There you go. Absolutely.
Fixes everything.